Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Paige Haynes, and this is one part of many, I hope, of a series where I'm actually speaking to some of my AO Scan Solex team members, and we're going to be discussing just a few aspects of the business and how different people are working with the AO Scan in their business. So I have the beautiful Leith Jeffries with me today, also known as LJ. LJ, thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it. I wonder if you could just share a little bit about yourself and your background and maybe how you came to be amongst my team and in Solex with us.
Thanks, Paige. Thank you for having me. My background is energy work. I've got EFT, matrix re-imprinting, spinal flow. Everything is all about energy. So that's where my main, most of my life, that's what I've been doing is, a practitioner, healing practitioner. And then I came across someone was wearing a Cephi dot. So one of the products that we have, and I inquired, I went, oh, this is interesting. What does it do? And so I wanted to know more. So then I did some more my own research, and then I happened to meet you at the expo, one of the expos, and well, that was it. I was in. It was, it was great. I love the tool.
Yeah, amazing. The question was going to be what first attracted you to AO Scan. You mentioned the Cephi dots, and they're these little blue dots. I don't actually have any with me right now, but they are definitely a point of conversation, aren't they, when somebody's wearing them? I know I often wear them, and they're like what we'd call a frequency patch, really. So they're imprintable patches that you can wear and wearable, and that you can imprint them with different frequencies. I know for a long time I used my sleep playlist with sleep frequencies imprinted in it, and so I would always have one on, and anytime I had one on, what is that, people would say. So yeah, that's amazing. That's very, very cool. And then of course we're talking about the Mind Body Spirit Festival, which we have done quite a few of, and yeah, Leith and I had the pleasure of meeting, and Ian as well, Leith's husband, so that was really, really cool. And how do you use it for yourself personally?
I use it every day, and I use it more than once. I continually use it all the time throughout the day. So probably the first thing I do is I listen to my inner voice tunes every day. I listen to them twice a day. My mind sync as well. And then I do scans on myself. So I'll do a quick scan, but then I'll do a optimization with my vitals and my comprehensive.
Yep.
And then, if my cats need something, I'll use that for the thing. And I also imprint. So I imprint into my water supplements to support what I need at that time.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And so what have you noticed for yourself personally? So what is let's go with the inner voice. What is that provided for you? Because I think the inner voice is the cornerstone, really.
Yes.
For me, it's where I start with everyone, and it's where I get people to start when they first join with AO Scan. So what would you say has been the biggest impact with inner voice for you?
For me, the inner voice, I've noticed I'm a lot more calmer and I'm responding rather than reacting. It's giving me the space to think and stop before I get emotional, and that will not get emotional, and then, respond. It makes you more aware. I love it. It's just making me more calmer.
Yes. I must say, I really notice when I don't do mine.
Yeah.
And it's not often, but I did have, actually, I have to confess, I didn't do them today. And just because actually I was having a few technical issues, but when I don't do them, and I had a couple of days where for some reason I didn't, and it wasn't that long ago, and I can't even really remember why. But I started to notice it, and I was like, because I do it every day, like yourself, you don't notice until you stop. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's like supplements sometimes. We think,
It is.
it's even working, and it's like, and then you forget them for a bit, and you're like, oh, yeah, they were working. I need them back again. Oh, that's beautiful. And actually, that's another side of it. Do you use because within the AO Scan, we can actually input our supplements. So do you use that part of it as well? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
with the quick scan. That's why I do the quick scan as well for my supplements. Yes, and any homeopathics that I need that are in the scan. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Or so it might tell me that I can do a Cefi playlist that I've put in the category section as well. So yeah, and that's what I do. Yeah.
Amazing.
Mm.
I've actually added in some therapies as well. Have you ventured down
Yes.
as well?
Well,
Yeah.
this time, okay, it's time to go to the chiropractor. It's
Yes.
great, isn't it? Yeah. Do a bit more exercise. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one. I haven't actually put exercise into mine, but I know I have
Mm.
my 660 band in there. I have kinesiology in there because I'm a kinesiologist. Um,
Yeah.
I don't have chiro because I feel like my inner voice tells me a lot that I need to go to chiro. So I'm sort of
Yeah.
always all over that. But yeah, that's a really good point. I've just started craniosacral therapy, so I will pop that in there. And also I do Bowen therapy at different times as well. So I kind of like to
Mm.
mix around my bodywork therapies. So that's a good point. I should pop those in there. And so have you been using the AO scan with clients as well?
Yes. So they've been trying the easy scan. That's what we've been using at the moment with some of the clients, and they're just amazed at what's coming up for them and what it can do and what it can show them. They just can't believe just by sharing their voice that
Yeah.
what they can see is in their body.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so is
Mm.
it from when they're amazed, is it from a confirmation perspective that they already know that there's some imbalances there and they're getting confirmation, or is it more picking up things that then make sense to them that they can go and take action on, or is it a bit of both?
Well, yes, because and it is. It's more both, I think, like you said, and more so to what do they do next? You know, what's their next steps? It's giving them something to, because it gives you suggestions as well with lifestyle changes. You might have to drink more water, whatever it is for that person, and then they have those steps that they can incorporate, and that's the exciting part, I think, about it. And they agree too. That so what can I do with this? Or food sensitivities that come up, or.
I
Mm,
agree. I agree. And I
yeah.
love that feature as well. So LJ is talking about there is a feature within the inner voice part of the scan where it tells
Mhm.
you, gives you balances and suggestions. And that is a game changer because it breaks it down. And I think it gives you three per body system. And there are three body systems per kind of report, and there's 4 reports. So that sounds a little complicated, but anyway, and often what happens though within that is that you'll have repetition, like you were saying with hydration. So
Yeah.
hydration might show up 6 times or 8 times in a report, and that's a really
Mhm.
confirmation that that person, may need hydration. But then sometimes they'll turn around and say, but I drink a lot of water. And then the next thing we look for is, the trace minerals or the electrolytes so that they actually are absorbing the hydration
Yeah.
that they're taking.
Yeah.
But it's just such great confirmation, I find a lot of the time too, because a lot of people like, including myself, I have
Yeah.
an issue with hydration and I do drink a
Mm.
lot. But it does come back to my body not absorbing it, So
Yeah.
just seeing that and being picked up on that. And when I'm feeling off, I don't look at my reports every single day. I don't feel like I
No.
need to anymore. But when I'm not feeling great, that's the first place I go. And especially with my kids as well. So I've got one with the flu at the moment, the poor thing. So we're throwing all the things at him. It's been yeah, I think he's on the mend. He only sort of went down yesterday, but yeah, so it's been, yeah, anyway, it's um fantastic that we have the tools to be able to support our loved ones. And like you
Yes.
said, pet as well, your cat, like that.
Mm. Yeah.
Have you got multiple cats?
Yeah, we got 5 and we're not cat people.
That's certainly going to save you on some vet bills, isn't it?
Well, and it has already. Look, what the cat's got fungus. They got fungus because one of our other cats, she used to get that, and every time we'd have to get her on antibiotics. And so this time when they were checking out all the cats, and they said, "Oh, it's got a fungus. You'll need antibiotics." I said, "Oh, can we just put a hold on those just for a while? I'm going to try what I have." And
Yeah.
then I did. Sent playlists, especially around fungus. Never needed the antibiotics, so I saved myself money.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Mm.
And do you have any other specific kind of testimonials or feedback from clients as well around the AO scan?
Yes, I had another client who had diarrhea. They ate something. It was food poisoning. It was from a drink that they had, and the whole family actually went down and had the runs.
Mm.
Anyway, they went to the hospital and they got treated for it. But this went on for many days, like over 2 weeks or whatever, and he's continually still going to the toilet a lot of times. So I said to him, "Oh, did he mind that I put him into the system and I'll send him some frequencies?" And I did it for 2 hours. Do you know what? Straight away, when I sent him a message afterwards, he says, "I'm fine now," like that. And he stopped going to the toilet. Yeah, he was amazing. He was so thankful too.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
almost feel like we need to keep like a diary of this. When I'm teaching my students, we have a thing called the Awesome Book. So when they do balances, because I teach kinesiology, and when they do balances, I say, you know, when you get the feedback from the balances, write it in your Awesome Book. And I haven't done that with the AO scan because we get so many things that happen that are really mind-blowing, but then we kind of forget about them because life happens, doesn't it? And it's like,
It does.
I feel like we need a diary of, and in fact, we do have a Facebook page where we do, I upload testimonials in there frequently. So I sometimes go back and search my name and go, oh, I remember that now. I remember that.
Yeah.
But
It's a great
yeah,
idea, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah,
And it's on
absolutely.
YouTube too. There's testimonials as well, isn't there?
There are, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
Mm,
yeah,
mm.
it is amazing. But sometimes in the moment it's like, oh, well, yeah, I've had this and I've had that and I've seen this and I've seen that. But yeah, and sometimes it almost feels like it's you're getting desensitized to how cool
Yes.
it is, because you
Yeah.
see all of these crazy things happening and you're like, oh yeah, that's just
Yeah.
And so what would you say to someone who is curious about the AO scan? What would you share? What would you say to them?
I would say experience it. Go and experience it and see what it can do for you, for your health and well-being, and not only yourself but for your family as well. Because and you can save lots of money with
Mm,
this tool. It's
yeah.
not only supplements, going to the doctor, if you have to go have special tests. I'm not, I still say go to your doctors always, because it's definitely not a diagnostic tool. It's an educational tool, and
Mm,
so love that it's educational. So yeah, that's what I would be saying to them. It's, if you want to go, do want better health and well-being, give it a go.
yeah, absolutely. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's awesome. Yeah,
Mm,
I'd just say on that as well. I agree with you on still going to, and seeking medical help if it's needed.
yes.
I will share one thing. When my sister rang me one night quite late, she's got a little girl, and she had a really bad tummy pain, and it was appearing like appendicitis. And so she said,
Mm,
"Can you please just run me a scan, um, and just check if appendicitis, the appendix is coming up?" And I said, "Absolutely," and because she was in a lot of pain, and I thought, oh, and she said, "I just don't want to have to take her to hospital." It was 9:30 at night. And I said,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look. And all I could see was digestive. So it was bowel and, which makes sense with her little girl. She has a few issues in that area. And so while I was running the scans, her little girl went to the toilet and shifted,
Mm,
which often happens, right? When we
all right.
start running
Yeah.
frequencies, it starts to move. And so by the time I'd finished running the scans and talking to her and saying, look, I can't see appendix, but if the pain continues, I think you need to take her to, still go to the hospital because I don't want to
Oh,
leave.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You got to be certain. But she said, no, she's come back. The pain's gone. She's gone to bed. And I'm like,
Uh,
amazing, but I would never
yeah,
keep reiterating, look, if it comes back during the night, then it's a good
yep.
idea, or maybe take
Oh,
it in
yes.
the morning, so
Mm,
because it isn't, as you say, it is an educational tool, and that's
yeah.
what we are, looking at. But the appendix has come up quite a few times actually as a good one to check because it's such an acute situation, isn't it? My mum also had a
Mm.
situation with that, and I've had a couple of friends who've rung me and saying, can you just check for appendix? So anyway, that's an interesting one. And is there anything else that you would love to share about this in your experience so far?
Well, to me, it's been a lifestyle changer. to me, it's about implementing what you learn about it. Making lifestyle changes, could be food changes as well. But looking at it and not being overwhelmed by it, but looking at one thing at a time, and using that. It's been the best thing. And yeah, it's kind of like, and it's at what do they say? There's a saying that says, it's all at your fingertips, it's right in the palm of your hand. That's how easy it is. And you can just take it with you everywhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I recommend.
Absolutely. When I first got the scanner, I thought that it would be an amazing tool for my business, and it was. But it's
Yes.
been equally as an amazing tool for my family and my own health. And I always come back to that first and foremost, because if we're not putting on our own oxygen masks as practitioners and
Yeah.
as mums, as and looking after ourselves. And this has been one of the first things that I have ever actually stuck to. So I have a tendency to start things and then, not follow through with them, right? And that's in the self-care realm, because life gets
Yes.
busy, and I have 3 children
Yeah.
and 2 business, and sometimes more than that, businesses. And so
Yeah.
self-care tends to be that thing that falls to the bottom of the list. And so I have been pleasantly surprised that this has helped me implement a routine, like you were saying, an emotional balance scan in the beginning of the day, a frequency
Yeah.
for my body, just to set me up. And sometimes I don't get back and do anything else, but that's set for the day. And that
Yeah.
then ensures that I'm getting outside into nature and having my walk, because that's when I like to listen to my tunes.
Yeah.
That also ensures, the knock-on effect that sets me up for my day, if you're a morning person anyway. So yeah, I'd love just to add that to it too. It's been a game changer for me also from my personal health perspective. I've managed to actually shift a thyroid condition by being a detective, being my own health detective.
Yeah.
The medical system has not picked up my thyroid issues, but it's been something that's with me for a very, very long time. And since I was 16 years old, I've had my hair falling out, which is one of the thyroid symptoms. And in the last 2 months, I've been able to stop that, which I've never, other than in pregnancy, I've never been able to stop that hair fall before in my life. So, and that's been consistent now for 2 months. So I'm really, yes, excited about that, and that I can be my own detective in my own health, and then take the actions that I'm being, that have been shared with me through the AO scan and the education that it gives me. So yeah.
Yeah, it really empowers you, doesn't it? It takes back your power and puts some health back in your own hands, And I agree with you. I'm the same. I had thyroid issues, which the doctors weren't picking up in the tests or anything like that. But I too, because it's rampant in my family,
Yep.
and so the AO scan picked it up, and so I've been doing plays and things around that as well myself, and taking iodine, and yeah, I've been much energy levels are really great, and yeah. And I also agree with you too. It's a great business tool as well, to share this with others. And there's many ways that you can make money from this. It's not just one way. There's many ways, and that's what I love about this. Yeah, what it offers.
Absolutely. So let's have a quick chat about that. It's because you
Yeah.
use it in your business, so you charge people for actual scans, so that becomes a product that you then can, offer to your clientele.
Yes.
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 What are the
Yeah.
other ways that you found that you can earn from the AO scan?
Well, similar to, you've got a anxious and stress therapy playlist group coming up. That is a great way to earn money that way, inviting people to join in a group environment, which also uh, amplifies the frequencies and energies in the group, going to the group. Or you can do it individually, so there's things there, but there's other things that I offer as well. But yeah, that's one of them.
And then, of course, you can build a team with it as well. And Elsa
Yes.
and Ian are very busy over in the Indonesian area right now, launching and getting things happening to a massive market over there. But even just sharing it with, your friends and your family and your current
Yeah.
clients and networks and things like that. And to the point, even I know that we have a lot of people in Australia on NDIS, and some people have have the ability in their plans and things to be able to actually access this tool. And then that becomes a tool that they can use for the whole family, not even just the one person as well. So
Yeah.
I feel when it comes to disability, it is something that affects the whole family, particularly from an emotional perspective, and all of those things as well. So yeah, it's definitely worthwhile kind of looking into from that perspective as well. If you're looking, and I know, you know, we work really hard as practitioners, don't we? And that one time sometimes, if we want to go away on a holiday, or if we've got, you know, if there's something, you know, health wise or something that comes up, or children sick or things like that, and we physically cannot see people, it's nice to have, I know for myself, we went traveling recently, and it was lovely that I still worked. I did a little bit on the road, which was great as well, because it gave me the capacity to not have to be face to face with people all the time. But it also provided us with a bit of extra income, so that while I was traveling, I wasn't missing out on that as well. So yeah, it's which I love to be able to offer other practitioners, because I know what it's like to be stuck in that time for money trade, you know, and become burnt out, and you can, you know, miss out on a lot of those things because we're doing this beautiful soul work that we love and often putting ourselves last. So it's lovely to be able to that, you know, that extra side of it as well for people. Well, thank
And
you.
it's great being with like-minded people too.
Oh,
It's
and
just,
that's the other side of it, the
isn't it?
community
Yeah,
side of it, isn't it? You
it
know,
is
being connected
awesome. Yeah.
in with a whole, and I've made lifelong friends through this business. I
Yeah.
consider you one of them.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm collaborating as well with other practitioners, and I'm, you know, and looking at their strengths, and it's amazing. And that program that you were discussing, we often will have different people coming from different modalities to join together and to present that and to hold the space for, you know, we do a 21-day transformation basically, and we have different topics and things like that, and people sort of join in, but anyone's free to join in that group, but it's, the space is held within a big container, and it's yeah, it's magical, the alignments and the wisdom that all these different practitioners can bring. And I know one of my girls said, she's down in Melbourne, and she's been a kinesiologist for 20 years. And she said, for the first time in 20 years, I was able to have a Christmas party, because she had a Christmas party with the AO Scan and SoulX people. And she's like, I actually had my own Christmas party. I didn't have to go to my partner's. You know, which is just lovely. And you don't think about those things. You know, I used to be in the corporate world, and we'd always have Christmas parties and this and that and the other. But when you work for yourself, unless you're going along to somebody else's stuff, you don't necessarily get that, or you're, you know, you're putting on your own. Yeah, so it is lovely from that.
Or like the retreat page, the retreat we've got to go to. Yeah.
And we're also having, you know, some conferences and things like that as well. And just being around, like you say, like-minded people who are all working on their vibration and their frequency. So, you know, really vibrating at a higher level, and it's just lovely. So yes, thank you so much for your beautiful insight. I really appreciate having you here today, LJ. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, that's I think we've covered everything. Yeah, no. Thank you so much for having me, Paige.
No, not at all. I really, really appreciate you being here. So thank you.
Thank you.